So, one thing that I've noticed, y'all, on this spiritual journey is that, especially when it comes to the chosen ones, is a lot of times it's those losses and those heartbreaks that cause awakenings. Because what I always like to tell people is the biggest lessons in life are learned at the bottom. If you like, for instance, if you think about it, um, rich kids that's been spoiled and always had family that was able to just hand them things and that always let them get away with everything and stuff like that. How do they act? When people are have too easy of a life, or they've had things given to them, then it tends to make them weak. It makes them softened. And when it comes to chosen ones, we're meant to be hardened, forged in the fire. We are meant to be diamonds in the rough. We are chosen ones for a reason, and we are built 100% different. Not only are we meant to be built tough, but we're meant to be built authentic, our true self. And each one of us has a different purpose on this earth. And the thing that I've understood was a lot of times we will attract when we aren't the person that we need to be yet, or we still need our spiritual awakening, we will attract what we need. God will send what we need as a lesson, right? And that's why, if you've ever understood when you were younger, or even recently maybe, when you went from relationship into another relationship into another relationship, if you haven't noticed, if you had a narcissist before, ain't it crazy how if you get into a quick relationship, or you're running around doing the same things, how you'll attract another narcissist? And that's because if you don't learn the lesson, then God will keep sending you the lesson in a new person, right? Because, I've encountered at least 3 narcissists, back to back to back, if not more, in my life. But what I understood was, and when I was going through, I didn't understand why. And I was constantly like, God, why do I keep meeting these people? I just want a good girl. I want somebody that's going to respect me. I want someone that's going to unconditionally love me. I want someone that is willing to sacrifice like I'm willing to sacrifice. I had so much love to give, and I had such a good heart. I do have such a good heart. And all I ever really wanted to do was to be some woman's king, some woman's husband. A man that she could be proud to tell her family or her friends or whoever she may care about that she was with me, that she was proud of me and the things that I did, because I was always willing to sacrifice my own happiness for others. And sometimes that's okay, but not sacrificing your own happiness for others isn't okay. Sacrificing is. But here was the area that I didn't understand that I was falling short on. See, I was running around looking for love too hard, trying to find it in other people. And I would go off just if they were pretty, or just if they were this or that. We would tend to go off looks instead of the person's character, instead of the person's heart. And here's the real problem, though. The real problem is we just kept moving around with our heartbreak like nothing happened, and then we'd meet another person and continue the cycle, right? It was just a vicious cycle. And you're going to keep dealing with that cycle until you learn the lesson. And the last time that I was in a 7-year relationship, And I thought the person was going to be my wife, and here I was trying to fix them, trying to heal them, trying to help them, trying to build them. And it seemed like I very rarely got the same love and energy reciprocated, right? Well, when the ship sank and it was all over, and I realized what narcissism was, because before all this happened, I just thought there was a lot of bad people that didn't have good minds and good hearts. That's all I thought it was for the longest time. And then after this last time, because it was probably the relationship that, it was the one that kind of did me in, it was the one that truly broke my heart and completely drug me through the mud long enough where I realized that there had to be a change, and I was just completely weak and broken and vulnerable in that moment. And I'm a strong man, I'm a strong person. So I don't like to feel weak at all. And I realized that that's what gave me my awakening, right? I wouldn't even have had the awakening if it wasn't for that heartbreak, that setback, that disappointment. Sometimes we have a plan on when we are in love with somebody, we tend to be like, this is what I want with them. And we say, this is my wife, or this is my husband. And you plan in your mind this vision of what this family or what this marriage or what this relationship will be like in the future, right? And that's what a lot of people tend to hold on to, is their vision of the love that they could have with this person. But we have to truly understand that we can't fix other people. We can help other people, but we can't fix other people. When people show you that they aren't willing to respect you enough to listen to you when you're trying to help them, if you're trying to spit someone wisdom, or you're trying to spit someone facts, and instead of actually taking heed to what you're trying to give them and learning and growing with you, then that's not a person that you should marry. That's not a person that you can marry, because they aren't ready for marriage. And we have to understand that in order to have a husband or a wife, that person needs to show you who they are before that happens. Because a lot of times on social media, I'll see women saying, if there isn't a ring on my finger, then I'm not going to act like a wife. And that's so backwards. Society has got it twisted to where they got these females acting toxic. They got these females thinking that that's the correct way to act. And it's not. You won't ever truly have a husband or have a wife until you already are the person whom can hold that down for a lifetime. See, a lifetime commitment is a very big commitment. It's not just any relationship. If you're going to get married to someone, or you're in a long-term relationship, you have to be able to make sacrifices for that person. And see, I've noticed that whenever a man says that he wants a woman that is willing to submit to him, the modern day woman gets so mad and angry at that word submit. But they don't understand that the true definition of submission, because we all submit. We already all submit without even noticing it. But a lot of people won't do it in a relationship. But a lot of you still do it in a relationship without you even noticing. Submit is literally just sacrificing for the person that you love, and doing things that you may not feel like doing, you may not want to do. For instance, when a man is busy and he'll drop what he's doing to help his woman or help a woman or come fix her car or come pick her up if her car's broke down, or or maybe he had a long day at work and he's tired, but he'll tell her to go inside and he'll carry all the groceries in. That is submission, you know? And we all do it, just like we even submit to God every day. At least we are supposed to. Because that's what true love really is submission. The times that you may want to go out and party, or you may want to go out and do certain things that aren't beneficial to your success, that ain't beneficial to your goals. You follow God's lead and what God wants from you instead of what you want from you. That's you being submissive for God. Even God wants submission. And God knows, God and Jesus, they are men, but they aren't men like us of the flesh, but they are of a manly character, right? But they are the most powerful men that ever walked the earth. Well, Jesus is the most powerful man that ever walked the earth, right? Okay, and they know that men are supposed to be the leader. And it doesn't mean that they're better. It doesn't mean anything like that. It just means that the men is naturally supposed to lead. If you go way back to back times, the king was the leader. And he got to pick between the woman he want to make her a queen. But he was already the king. And when a woman truly loves a man, it's when he's at work sacrificing, trying to make money or whatever he's doing, when he's out on the grind. Maybe she wants to do something, but instead she will submit for the love that she has for her man, and she will cook him dinner. She will wash his laundry for him because maybe he's been so busy and he has to work, on the weekend, or he's working all these hours or whatever, It's a give and take. You're supposed to pour from your cup into their cup, and they're supposed to pour from their cup into your cup, right? And see, the thing is a lot of men will naturally submit to you women. But the problem is a lot of us can't get the women to let their pride and ego aside, and what all these modern day women try to tell them, I'm not submitting to nothing. Ain't no man leading me. And that attitude is why they will be single. And if they're not single, then they'll be with some pushover man that's a boy and not a grown man, a real king, someone that they truly, truly want to be with. Because it's in a woman's genetics to naturally want to be with that king, with that strong, masculine man who stands bold, who, can protect her, who can jump in the fire in front of her and take out a crowd if he has to for his woman. And a man's willing to do that, ladies. That's what you have to understand, is a good man, a real man that loves you. There's nothing that he's not willing to do to show his love to you. And all we want is the simple things. All we want is to have respect when you talk to us. Or, if a man's trying to be the leader and he says, you know what, I think we need to do this, and you constantly want to argue, or you constantly want to go against his wisdom, because there's one thing that, regardless if you believe it or not, Jesus was a man, and they, as the leader, as the man, they give certain downloads to the man that they won't give to the woman, because he is supposed to be the leader. He's supposed to be standing in next to the woman, but if shit goes down, if a war breaks out or a fight breaks out, naturally, what's going to happen? Just think of natural instincts without you even thinking about it. If a giant fight breaks out or a war breaks out, the man is going to move the woman behind him and tell her to go, and he's going to protect her and fight the battle. And the woman's going to already be ready most of the time to get up out of there, because it's in her instincts to get up out of there and stay protected. You know? And I'm not saying that women won't fight or anything like that. You know, but if you got a big, strong man that's mad and ready to hurt somebody, he can truly kill a woman if he wanted to. You know, and us as her king, as her man, you know, like the old times, like the Spartan warrior, we jump in front of them, and we fight that battle for our woman. That's us submitting for her. And and people have to understand that there's different definitions of submission. You know, like me, I will work 6-7 days a week while my woman stays home and takes care of the house. That's me submitting for her. Do you think a man wants to work 6-7 days a week until he's dead tired, or he don't have no time to spend with his woman or his children or the ones that he loves? Do you think he wants to do that? No. If it was a man's choice, he'd be able to just, you know, work 3, 4, maybe even 5 days and make enough money to where he has 3 days off to be able to hang with the people that he loves, or hang with his woman and go on a trip, or go do something that you guys can do together as a unit. That's what a man would want. But we naturally submit for the woman. And the reason that we do that as men is because we're supposed to be the leader, and God puts it in our spirit to be the worker, the grinder. Not that a woman won't work or won't grind. Because that's the thing, is if you got a woman that will work and grind right next to you as a man, and you guys can do, you know, equally submit to one another, then you should have the best relationship that you've ever had in your life, and you two can take off like a rocket. But there's always a disconnect there, you know. And until we learn to work as a team and be equal and submit to one another and understand what our roles are as the man or as the woman in a relationship or in a marriage, you know. Like for me, if I'm trying to run a business, I'm trying to start my business, right? If I'm working 5-6 days a week as it is, plus I'm going to the gym, you know, and a lot of times men have more physical jobs than women. Yes, some jobs that women have are physical jobs, but most of the time, like 95% of the time, a man's job is more physically draining than a woman's. As far as like we carry block for 10 to 12 hours, or we climb 30 feet in the air to build barns, or we're out in the, you know, freezing cold doing construction, or we're out in 100-degree weather laying asphalt. You know, we do like true grinds that can completely wear and tear the body down, right? So if I'm already doing that and I'm trying to start a business, my woman knowing that that business is going to help us to where we don't have to work hard all the time, we can work together when the business starts and be business partners and become wealthy for us, for our children, for our family, for whoever it is that we're trying to become wealthy and successful for. So if she sees me on the grind 5-6 days a week, plus having to come home and work on another business, you know, that's me putting all my effort into my craft, into my grind to make us successful. It's not for me, it's for us, if we're a team. You know, and that's where a man needs the woman to be able to pick up that slack and be like, okay, since you're doing all that, I'm going to cook dinner for you because I love you. I'm going to do some laundry because I love you, because I see that you're doing hard physical labor. You know, and a lot of women don't understand this, especially like modern day women that have jobs as well. They say, well, I work too, and this and that. Well, yes, we know that. We know you work too. But I'm telling you right now, especially when it comes to me, I do physical jobs. I do jobs that a woman physically could not do. Could not do. No matter how hard you tried, you could not do. And if you could do it for a very short period of time, you would end up quitting because you're so sore and broken down after the first week, because as a woman, your body isn't meant to carry the weight that mine's meant to carry. You don't carry the strength that I have as far as mass, muscle mass, strength. You know, if me and a woman go to the gym and we're on bench pressing together, I'm going to lift way more than she is. And that's because I'm meant to be the physical specimen as the man. So I just want to drop this message on you guys, you know, and just give you guys a talk about like what submissive is and how a man and woman should work together. And that's what we really need to get back to in 24, you know. So like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And stay focused, stay positive, stay blessed. And if you want to give a super thanks in a comment or anything like that, I would appreciate it. I always try to respond to the comments. I'll leave my email down in the description if you want to set up a call, or just if you want to ask me a question or give me a video idea to talk about something you may need help with. All right. I hope you guys have a good night. And again, I love y'all, chosen ones. And I'll see you on the next video. Salute.